Well, October's here and we're all in for a treat because there's a shitload of great games all being released within the next 5 or 6 weeks. This week I was lucky enough to play through Konami and MercurySteam's latest title, Castlevania Lord of Shadows, and I'll tell you what, it's freaking amazing. Released for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, you're put in the shoes of a new Belmont in a truly epic adventure. The game starts off kind of slow but ramps up quickly and really gets pretty damned amazing by the end. You really feel like you're part of something special, and that to me is very awesome. So strap in, you're in for a ride. Here's Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
The struggle for supremacy is eternal, inevitable. Victory is the natural objective of every creature on this world. They will kill and die for their kind to dominate. Some call this eternal struggle equilibrium, the balance between light and darkness.
The story you take part in Lords of Shadow is quite dark and full of loose ends that are really open to interpretation. You play as Gabriel Belmont, a member of the Brotherhood of Light, whose wife was recently murdered. On top of that, the world has turned to shit as the 3 Lords of Shadow have cast a spell that's cut off the earth from the heavens. The spirits who founded the Brotherhood of Light speak of a prophecy where a pure-hearted warrior will claim the power of the Lords of Shadow and use it for himself to stop them and reunite God with the world. Each of the 3 Lords of Shadow have a fragment of the God Mask that, if assembled, will yield its wearer supreme power, making them God's own vassal on Earth. Gabriel assumes this role as he believes he'll be able to save the world and be able to revive his wife with these powers. Pretty lofty goals if you ask me. As Gabriel begins to acquire relics, fragments of the mask, and utilize dark magic, evil begins to flow through his veins, and you actually see him struggle with his loyalties to his religion as he strives to save his wife. There are a series of pretty significant plot twists at the end, and a fucking epic ending, and an even better ending after the credits. In fact, the ending was so interesting that I've made a second video discussing and analyzing just that, so if you played the game or are interested in hearing that, make sure to check it out as well. Lords of Shadow took me roughly 15 hours to complete on the normal difficulty. There are 12 acts in total with a variable amount of levels per act, and you can go back and play previous levels at will. In fact, it's encouraged because there are hidden items, be it upgrades to your weapons, abilities, or powers, scattered throughout each level, and you won't be able to access some of them until you've acquired certain upgrades in later levels. On top of that, each level has a trial challenge that you can only complete after you've completed the level for the first time, so there's a lot of replay value once you've completed the game. In addition, each level is loaded with cutscenes, enough so that the Xbox 360 version of the title is actually spread out over 2 discs. One thing you'll notice right away is that Lords of Shadow combines the combat from God of War with the platforming from Prince of Persia with the massive boss battles from Shadow of the Colossus. Initially, I didn't feel that any of the 3 elements are as good as the titles they base them on, but over time I realized that they didn't have to. The game is really designed quite well, as you get a great mix of combat, puzzle solving, and platforming, enough so that it never feels repetitious. As you gain additional moves, the combat begins to feel a lot more fluid. As you progress through the levels, the platforming gets a bit trickier, but it never has a bunch of timed or really tough challenges like you'd experience in Prince of Persia. It's all really basic stuff. One thing I really liked though was the levels were not linear. There are multiple paths through each, and some are even maze-like. Seriously, some of the levels are just fucking awesome. They're really well designed and extremely fun to play.
Many nights before you. Yes, many.
Forgive me, brother, but my need is far greater than yours.
Gabriel's primary weapon is a combat cross. This is a pretty interesting item as, when it's upgraded a few times, can be used as a grappling hook, whip, and vampire stake. In addition, Gabriel will gain access to daggers, fairies, holy water, and a crystal that unleashes a powerful demon, best saved for those oh shit moments. As opposed to the traditional light attack, heavy attack, Lords of Shadow has a direct attack, area attack, and a special weapon attack. As you kill monsters, you gain experience, which can then be used to purchase special moves, combos, and relic powers. There's actually a lot of strategy in the combat, and it never feels repetitive because each foe has certain weaknesses and vulnerabilities that you really need to exploit to defeat them. Your adventure book details this information as you discover it, so it behooves you to consult it often. Early in the game, Gabriel will gain access to light and dark magic, which, when combined with your attacks, combos, and relics, give you a wide variety of combat options. Light magic typically heals you as you fight, and dark magic allows you to deal additional damage. Much of the strategy in the game comes from utilizing your magic properly. One thing I didn't really care for though were the Quicktime Events, which seem to be a standard now in action-adventure games like this. I don't enjoy beating the crap out of my controller, mashing a button over and over. What's worse is that typically if you mess up a Quicktime timing event, you'll either die or become severely crippled and die shortly afterwards. Now, the game itself is actually really challenging, especially the boss battles. Each time you reach a boss, you'll pretty much die a few times simply learning their attacks, tells, and vulnerabilities. Even once you've learned this information, the battles are still pretty tough, but it feels pretty rewarding once you defeat them. The puzzles also are quite tricky at times, but I really enjoy that.
Get away from me, you filth!
If you can't tell by now, the graphics are absolutely stunning, and the environments you travel through are beautiful. You'll actually fight through lush forests, harsh winter environments, and of course dark scary castles. All the cutscenes are gorgeous as well, and they occur so frequently, it makes the game feel more like a movie that you're participating in than a video game. The voice acting in this title is amazing. Patrick Stewart even plays your companion Zobek and acts as a narrator throughout the adventure. Hell, all of the voice actors are just great. I simply loved Gabriel's accent. In addition, the soundtrack is freaking epic. It feels mysterious and really draws you in and makes you feel like you're a part of something important. I also enjoyed the fact that the music dynamically changes based on the situation you're in, as it ramps up when you're in combat and calms down as you explore. All in all, the presentation of Lords of Shadow is simply breathtaking. I think it's pretty clear that I really enjoyed Lords of Shadow. I haven't played too many Castlevania games in the past, but I think this title's convinced me that I'm now a big fan of the series, especially if the developers continue to make the titles like this one. While not revealed in the actual game, we don't know if this is an alternate Castlevania reality or if it's a reboot, and we don't know exactly who Gabriel Belmont is as far as the Belmont family is concerned. Regardless, the story is totally epic and absolutely worthy of your money. The ending after the credits really leaves a lot of unanswered questions that absolutely must be answered in either a sequel or DLC. I'm crossing my fingers for both. Make sure to check out my second video discussing the ending, but only if you've already completed the game or don't plan to play it, as it's pretty spoilerific. So what are your thoughts? Is it acceptable for a new title to steal the great gameplay elements from several titles and put them together to form a great new title? Leave your questions and comments below. Check out the full write-up and screenshots over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to check out all of the other great gaming entertainment on the Game Station. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.